Hello, lovely people. It's Victoria. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So, I have attempted to film the gist of what this video is going to be multiple times, and I thought I was going to cobble it all together into multiple pieces, but it just felt weird. I don't know, but I do want to just kind of honestly share where I've been mentally for the most part. And in my last video, I referenced this video that I filmed that day that I did, but I don't think I'm going to post it. I don't really know why. It just wasn't really gelling. But it has basically a story time of just some fuckery that happened like a month and a half ago that really took the wind out of my sails for a hot minute. But I'm filming this on Christmas Eve. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful holiday season. I hope you are going to have a happy Christmas if you celebrate, or just are otherwise having good vibes with loved ones and good energy. The Last Holiday is currently playing on the TV downstairs, and my family is kind of watching it, and that's like one of my favorite holiday movies. But I wanted to finally film a video that I'm going to actually post and just kind of talk to you guys, because that's mainly, I would say, the bread and butter, or has always kind of been the bread and butter of this channel in addition to music. So I've been thinking a little bit recently about how much I actually talk about and share on the internet, like some videos recently that I unlisted, just with certain things that I was sharing that I'd done in the past, and still continuing to look for a job, but my whole goals with that have kind of shifted lately. And so I might end up listing those videos again, because regardless of what job I end up having, I don't really want to fit into a box or have to constrict myself or who I am or how I express myself. And those videos were pretty vulnerable. But like, as far as even outside of smoking weed or not, it's just been not being able to pass a drug test is not the most sustainable, long-lasting motivation to have a certain career. And a lot of the things that I've applied for I haven't gotten, and I'm not exactly sure what the correct path for me is right now. But I don't really want to have to put myself into a box. But I've just been thinking about, past things I've shared and possibly regretting those, and how I present myself on the internet. And for a minute that kind of mattered in a different way than it had before, but I might just say fuck it and relist all those videos. Who even knows? But I've been kind of struggling with my sobriety again. I talked about that in a video a few months ago. I had a really bad episode recently where it was probably the most I'd ever had in a day, and I was really irresponsible about it, and it was like possibly dangerous. It was really stupid. But I've been better about balancing it. At first I thought I wanted to eventually work towards complete sobriety, and maybe that would ultimately be better for me. And for a second I thought that was going to be my New Year's resolution, but I don't know if that might be like shooting too far too fast, because it feels kind of daunting, but that might be what's best for me. I honestly don't know. A lot of times I do know, and then I don't. Ultimately, it's just about keeping myself safe. My family has been together for the holidays. That's been wonderful, especially having my dad home, because he's been spending more nights with my dog, my dog is chronically sick. She's diabetic and blind and has a heart murmur. And I've always been her person, and she sleeps with me, but she wakes me up every 3 hours or so every single night for literally, I don't even remember how long. It's been so freaking long. So I haven't had a REM cycle I have no idea. So it's been a nice change to get some more restful sleep. So those were the main bullet points, but I also just want to run you through a story of complete fucking bullshit and fuckery, to where I got my first car, which I am in love with. I'm in love with my car. I'm basically the Queen song. I'm in love with my car. But pretty much everything else about getting that car was a complete migraine. Such a needlessly stupid fucking obstacle course because of the dealership. And I still have not written the essay of a review that I should write about how ridiculously stupid this was to deal with. But this dealership was just a walking billboard of every reason why people should never trust used car salesmen. If you're a used car salesman that doesn't make people question their faith in moral goodness, then good for you for, beating the status quo. But holy fuck, basically, I decided I wanted this car. I had to go out of my way. I had to go like a good ways to go test drive this car and finally decide that I wanted it. So when I'm there at the site, that's when we fill out the auto loan, because I didn't know until then that I for sure wanted this car. So this dude is helping me fill it out. He knows I'm a first-time car buyer. He's filling it out with the VIN number, everything. And on his suggestion, we apply for the loan for a certain amount that was basically just the retail value of the car. But I was planning on getting an extended warranty. And I mentioned this to him. I'm like, don't we want to include the price of the extended warranty before we solidify the application for the loan? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's a placeholder. It's a placeholder. We'll talk to the dude about the extended warranty. We'll make sure that we call and adjust and it'll be fine. It was not a placeholder. So I applied for this amount, but then I end up signing for a different amount, which was the total price, including the extended warranty. I'm yelling because my audio always ends up being so fucking quiet. So I'm just going to compensate by yelling. Anyway, also I want to yell about this anyway. So I apply for and sign for a different amount. Don't even realize the difference. No one catches this to me. Apparently, the guy that helped me get the extended warranty had a giant stack of papers, and at the top in giant bold italicized letters was don't have her sign for more than this amount, but he still did. And apparently, like, no one was actually qualified to have me sign for anything or help me fill out anything. Apparently, no one knew what the fuck they were doing, but they were doing it anyway, just to be nice, according to the manager later. But anyway, so I get a call from the dealership a few days later that they got a check from my lender, but it was only for the retail value of the car, not the extended warranty. Realized that they made a mistake. It was actually really nice. A family member of mine who was with me throughout the whole car buying process was like, I would totally tell you if you messed up, but honestly, they completely took advantage of you and you did nothing wrong. Like, they totally fucked you over. But I try applying for a second loan because I'm told that I should be able to do that, but then turns out I can't do that. And then they're all like, we don't even know who you talked to that said you'd be able to do that because that first loan's still active. So I tried. Ultimately, they returned the money. And that loan is null, but my credit's been so fucked at this point that I can't get approved for a loan of a similar amount from that lender. I tried applying for a personal loan for the difference. That didn't go through, so I had to go through another lender recommended by the dealership. Hello, so I'm refilming this part because my computer was using the wrong recording device, so it just was my computer audio, so it was really bad. So we're going to try again. But basically, my dealership got me to sign for just the total value of the car and not the total cost. So I get a call being like, this doesn't cover the extended warranty. So over the course of just over a week, I go through like 6 different mind-numbing phone calls with the dealership, with my lender, with insurance, and I try to apply for a personal loan for the difference. That didn't go through, so I had to get through a different lender through them, and it was for a slightly higher interest rate and a slightly higher monthly payment. So that was sucky, but I ultimately came this close to getting my first car repossessed within 10 days of having it, with absolutely no fault of my own. And that was with people that I trust helping me through the process and trying to help me catch red flags and everything like that. And no one caught that. And then afterward, everyone was all just like, oh, this dude was just trying to help you the best he can, and he's not actually qualified to do that, but he was just doing that because he felt nice, as if I'm supposed to feel like he was doing me a favor. But ultimately re-signed for everything, and everything's been okay so far. But that was just super fucking stressful, and I went through a little phase where I was drinking a lot because I was just so angry, and it was hard to deal with it, and it was kind of hard to do basically anything else except be mad about it because I was so stressed about losing my car and having like that on my record, and just felt very powerless. So that was a thing. Been kind of, I was sober completely for a minute, but now we're back to just kind of regularly scheduled programming, but just trying to stay safe and as balanced as possible. Yeah, just kind of resetting intentions, because I've applied for like some nonprofit jobs and stuff that would require a drug test, but haven't really gotten any of those, and I'm not really sure on a specific career path that I want, but also just the idea of passing a drug test for a job is not a super sustainable, long-lasting motivation. It would kind of need to be more for me, and that's been kind of harder to do because I'm kind of into the idea of like, I just don't want to have to fit into a box to work somewhere in a way that just doesn't really feel natural for me. Not even just as far as like smoking weed and stuff like that, but just other things things I've unlisted on my channel because I'm afraid of other people that I don't even know yet seeing it and how it's going to help me be perceived. But also I've always cared about being honest on my channel, so I might end up relisting those videos. I don't even know. But that's kind of been it. I don't really know how much I'm going to continue to share on this channel, but just been kind of frustrated with that, and then relieved when the car situation finally got resolved, and thinking about past stuff that I've done just in general that I have talked about on my channel that I unlisted, but then also in general, like thinking about stuff from the past, like an old relationship that was like my healthiest, best relationship that ended almost 4 years ago, and I'm not like actually believing that it could happen again, but just like the comfort of that has just been sticking with me, and not knowing what'll happen in the future, and do I want to run into him again, and da da da. So just kind of feeling overall attached to the past, but I've been wanting to reinvest in my future because there's been a lot of things like working on creative stuff that I haven't really done as much as I should, but I want to refocus on. So that's kind of a goal for my New Year's resolutions, is to really reinvest in my music and making content somewhat consistently, because I do really like this and it does make me happy. And y'all are great. I appreciate you.
Hello, I am coming in to add an addendum, basically clarifying the idea of thinking about what I post further. Is that I've recently realized that I've had this tendency towards like radical transparency and like super hyper authenticity and feeling the need to like share everything, because I always liked the content of people that kind of did that were like brash and oversharing and like super honest about everything, especially being an artist, wanting to do that as well. But I'm starting to just like really think more heavily about the level of openness I want to have about certain areas of my life, because I do have that natural tendency to want to share everything, but I've started to get a little more anxious about it. So that was mainly that point. And then also I'd love to hear from you guys if you want to see a Christmas haul from me, because I've been thinking about it, because I've seen other people's Christmas hauls, but I've like just started really overthinking it to the point where my sister was like, dude, just make the video. And so then I tried to make a video, but then some technical issues happened, but also it just felt like a different vibe than my normal videos. It didn't feel super natural for me. So I don't know, but I feel like I might regret not doing it. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. And that was about it. So thank you.
So that was basically it. I don't know why it was so hard for me to just throw all this into a video, but I'm going to call that sufficient for a little life update, and I will see y'all later. I'm working today on Christmas Eve, and I just know that it's going to be a fucking shit show, so pray for me. I'm not closing, thankfully. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I hope you're having a happy holiday season, that you're with people you love and that care about you. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.